Hello everyone, my name is Johnny Dege and today I'm going to be talking to you about what I did when my prospects went cold and stopped responding to my messages. I'm the founder of Rapid Reply, an AI email assistant for founders and business owners. Let's get started. So, what did I do when I couldn't find out what was going on with my prospects? I did a call with them, maybe a demo, and they stopped replying to my messages. What do you do in this situation? Well, I learned this the hard way, and it all begins with a story of my first SaaS B2B success, which is a company called Pocket Risk. This was a SaaS company focused on providing risk tolerance or a questionnaire software to financial advisors that would help their customers, their clients figure out how to invest their assets. And often I'd cold email people, I'd get a meeting set up, but then, I'd do a demo and then slowly they wouldn't really quite respond or they were a little bit slow. And I was like, what's going on? People are kind of responding to my messaging, but the sales process is really slow, and how do I move on from here? My prospects had kind of gone cold and they stopped replying to my messages. What can I do about that? So in order to get past this hump, which took several months, I decided to think a little bit about what I would do if I was receiving sales messages and how to get out of this tricky situation, especially if you're the kind of person who've been in this place where you've done a demo and they say that they're interested, but then nothing happens. So I thought back to when I don't respond to sales messages, why is that? So I came up with 6 ideas on why people don't respond to your sales messages after some initial success, maybe a demo or they're saying they're interested, but you don't hear back. Number 1, of course, is they never received the message. It is possible that if you follow up, your message went to spam or they didn't get your voicemail if you still use those, and they just didn't reply. Well, in order to get around that, I ended up using some email tracking software to help me get past that problem. Second, they might not understand the messaging. So I tried to write a lot more clearly, and I read this book called On Writing Well. I'll post a little picture of it here. And in that book, it explained, how to write clearly, use shorter sentences, better grammar, and so forth. And it helped me clean up my messaging. Next, of course, if someone is not responding, maybe they don't really have the problem that you claim to fix. Likely if they've had a meeting with you or a demo, then chances are they do have the problem somewhere. They might have later discovered that actually they don't have the problem as much as they thought. But of course, if someone doesn't have the problem, you're unlikely to make progress. So how I solved this issue was to make sure, of course, I was always speaking to my ideal customer and qualify them early to make sure they have the problem. And then what I did was, which is a much more advanced technique, is that I would try to link my solution to a problem that was top of their mind and how my solution could help them with that. So for example, if a customer really cares about, doing their accounting before the tax deadline, you can link your software product to how it helps them maybe save some time so they can focus on tasks like doing their books and their accounting. Or another example which worked well in my company Pocket Risk is often people would want to sell their businesses as they approach retirement. And in order to do that, you have to show some level of compliance, that you'd actually gone through your customers and found out how much risk they want to take. So having some documentation about that and using Pocket Risk would help them with eventually selling their business. So this would help them sell their business. It was indirect, but it was still a contributory factor. So that's one solution to the situation where a customer actually says, or it seems like maybe they don't have the problem that you're trying to solve. The next issue I came across is sometimes people would not trust my messaging. If the offer is too outlandish, then of course people don't trust it. It seems too good to be true. And also you want to put in some customer references. That's what I used in order to solve this problem. Then of course, the risk of struggling with your sales can also be the fact that you're basically asking too much of their time. So if someone has to go and check with 3 colleagues and organize 3 meetings to know whether or not they want to proceed with the sales process, that often takes time. And so you need to find a way to shortcut it. How can you get in touch with the decision maker? How can you make it easy for them to say yes? How can you be below the certain threshold? I was speaking to someone recently who works in is selling to governments, in particular schools, and they have this rule where if you spend less than $92,000 a year on the product, it doesn't need board level approval. So obviously, it's much easier to price your product at less than $92,000 per year. And then the last thing, of course, is bad timing. You come to these situations where maybe a customer is just about to go on vacation, or they're changing roles in the company. There is bad timing that does impact, and the only solution to that is to follow up on on a quarterly basis what I did with Pocket Risk, and that was able to solve my challenge. So I hope you found this short video useful. This is how I solved the problem of prospects going cold and not responding. The 6 methods. I hope you enjoyed it.